How are you guys doing? Today is Friday, January 1st, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to do my first Elite profile of the year of 2021. And compared to last year I just did them by age, and this year I'm just going to do them by birthdays in terms of what the players have done up until their birthdays. So for this first episode, I'm going to cover Darius Slay, the now 30-year-old cornerback that's currently playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Before I get in, this man is a three-time Pro Bowl. He made the first team All-Pro. He led the league in interceptions in 2017, and of course he was second team All-SEC in 2012. So if you don't know who he is a cornerback based out of Georgia. When he went to college, he kind of went through the junior college carousel, and then finally in 2011, he was gifted the opportunity to play for Dan Mullen at Michigan State in 2011 and 2012. In 2012, he would go on to make second team All-SEC after combining for 64 tackles, 6 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns in his 2 seasons at Mississippi State. And apparently in Mississippi State, he established himself as a good enough prospect to be taken 36th overall in the draft. That is the 4th pick in the second round, where he was drafted to the Detroit Lions. And for the first season in 2013, in the season where the Detroit Lions would finish 7-9, third in the NFC, Darius Slay, he would get 4 starts in 13 games. He would defend 5 passes and finish with 30 total tackles on the day. Not much came out of that season, but of course a lot of gained experience, not a lot of his experience came out of that season, and after that, he would be a starter for the rest of his career. In his age 23 season in 2014, the Detroit Lions would end up finishing with the second best record in the NFC North, but they would lose to the Cowboys in the playoffs. So when Darius Slay's first playoff season, he would start all 16 games. He'd finish with 61 total tackles, the most tackles he's ever had in his career in a season. And then he would finish with 17 passes defended, the averaging more than 1 passes defended a game. And he would finish with 2 interceptions for the season in a very good Detroit season, which would kind of see him come of age as one of the better cornerbacks in football. But of course, he wasn't recognized on the national stage like that. In 2015, Darius Slay would have his second straight season where he started all 16 games in a season where the Detroit Lions would finish 7-9 yet again, and this time they would miss the playoffs. But this season, Slay would finish with 2 interceptions yet again. He finished with 13 passes defended compared to 17 the year before, and he still finished with 59 total tackles on the season. So of course, he was still getting his experience. He was getting his legs under him as he was trying to, as he was growing up to be one of the best defenders in the NFL. So in 2016, he would only play 13. Or after signing a $48 million contract extension. He would miss a couple of games with a hamstring injury. He would miss 3 games total. And he would start 13 games, and he would finish with 2 interceptions as well. He finished with 13 passes defended in that, he finished with 13 passes defended in the 2016 season. And in the 13 games he would play in this season, they would end up going back to the playoffs for the second and final time of his career since he was on the Detroit Lions. That was the last time he actually made the playoffs, was 2016, where they finished 9-7 after finishing second in the NFC North. But still, in this season, he would finish with 2 interceptions for the 3rd season in a row. He would log a forced fumble and a sack while combining for 44 tackles on the year. This was his last season before he was a Pro Bowler, but of course, in his 13 games, through his age 23 through 25 season, 24 through 2016, every single game that he played, he started in, and he was one of the best players on the field. So 2017 is where his career started to take a change, and of course, one of the changes being that he never made the playoffs again. But of course, 2017 was when he made the jump into the elite threshold, and he kind of never looked back. So in 2017, his age 26 season, he would start all 26 games in a season where the Lions would finish second in the NFC North with a 9-7 record, the best record that the Lions have had. That's the best record that they've had, or they haven't had a record like that since 2017. And in the 16 games that he would start, He would lead the league in passes defended with 26 in 16 games, which is completely absurd. He would finish with 8 interceptions, which tied for the NFL lead in interceptions. He finished with a fumble recovery as well, and for the second and final time of his career, he finished with 26 total tackles in a season. Great season from him. He would make his first Pro Bowl in his career, and in 2017, just for leading the league in interceptions, he was named to the first team All NFL for the first and only time in his career, showing that he was, if not the best, the second best cornerback in the entire NFL. So following that season in 2018, he would follow off his All-Pro season, starting all 15 games in a season where the Lions would go 6-10. Under Matt Patricia for Matt Patricia's first season with the team. And this season, he would finish with 3 interceptions. He would log his first pick 6 of his career. Just impressive, amazing. But he would do this in week 14 off of Josh Rosen, if I remember it correctly. Big season for him. And he finished with 43 tackles, which would give him his second Pro Bowl of his career. Just second straight, just showing why he's one of the best cornerbacks in all of the NFL. And then in 2019, in his age 28 season, Darius Slay would start all 14 games in the season where the Detroit Lions would go 3-12-1, probably their best season their worst season, since he's been there. He would finish with 2 interceptions in those 14 games. He would defend 13 passes, and he would combine for 46 total tackles on the season. And in this season, he was named to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl, which of course is unheard of territory it's very rare territory for a cornerback. So that's showing how amazing he is doing this season. And then looking out to this season, catching up, Darius Slay just turned 30 now. He is still in the midst of a season. He's in the midst of his first season with the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Eagles are currently 4-10-1 in the NFC East. They are out of the playoff picture, but I imagine they're only going to get better from here. In this current season with the Eagles, he's started 13 of the 14 games that he's played. This is the first season in which he's played a game that he didn't start in since 2013, his rookie season. He's currently this season, he has 1 interception. He returned it for 25 yards. And in 14 games, he has 57 combined tackles. And seeing as how his tackle numbers are trending, he might finish this season with his best tackling season to date. But no awards. No, this is the first season since 2016 where he wasn't named a Pro Bowler. But still, when you look at his resume, everything that he's done up until now, January 1st, 2021, he still was second team All SEC in his senior year at Mississippi State. He was first team All-Pro, a Pro Bowler, and an interceptions co-leader in 2017. And then in 2018, 2019, he would cement himself as one of the best cornerbacks in the game by being a Pro Bowler in 3 straight seasons. I think this is enough reason and enough justification to keep Darius Slay on the list. And I think going into 2021, he is going to be a very interesting player to keep an eye on. His very last game this season for the Philadelphia Eagles will be against the Washington football team this Sunday at 8:20. It'll be a very interesting game, even though the Eagles aren't going to make the playoffs. But Darius Slay is definitely a corner to keep your eye on for this last game of the season going into the 2021 season. With that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 9 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well, and if you ever get a chance to catch my boy Big Play Slay, Darius Slay currently wears number 24, and he's the starting cornerback of the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that most recently made it to the Super Bowl and won. So I imagine that any one of these seasons they can make a comeback, and Darius Slay is going to be one of the biggest reasons why the Eagles will probably have a better season next year than they do this year. With that said, I want to thank you once again for listening to my piece. Following this up, I will do a profile on Dallas Keuchel because his 33rd birthday is also today. So that said, once again, I want to thank you all for listening to my piece, and peace out. I'll catch you with an episode after this.